before the pain came, there was a conversation Job never heard. Have you considered my servant Job? Take it all from him, and he will curse you to your face. On earth, the most upright man in the east, and he knew nothing of it. In a single day, everything was taken from him. The Lord gave, the Lord has taken away. Where were you when I laid the earth's foundations? Brace yourself like a man. I will question you, and you shall answer me. There was a land called Uz, wide, ancient, marked by sun and silence, and in it lived a man unlike the others, Job, not for his wealth, though he had it, not for his standing, though every elder rose when he passed the gate. He was rare for one reason. He was blameless, upright. He feared God, and he turned from evil. An old man once came to him, bent low, his voice shaking. Sir, the creditors have taken my field. I am left with nothing. How much do you owe? More than I can pay, my lord. Then you owe nothing more. Go in peace. Why do you do this for me? Because the bread God gave me was never for me alone. He was eyes to the blind, feet to the lame, a father to the poor. Two men once watched him from a distance and said, There is no man like Job in all the East, nor will there ever be. His house was great, 7 sons, 3 daughters, 7,000 sheep across the valleys, 3,000 camels, 500 yoke of oxen. But his greatness was never in what he owned, it was in what he feared. His children gathered often, house to house, laughter spilling into the night, and when the feasting ended, Job rose at dawn, alone, and offered a burnt sacrifice for each of them. They have done nothing wrong, master, a servant once said. Perhaps not, but perhaps in the depths of their hearts they have forgotten God. So Job stood as priest over his own house. On earth, all was peace, but far beyond the sky, something was stirring. The sons of God came to present themselves before the Lord, and among them came a shadow, the accuser, the one who roams the earth searching for a crack. Have you considered my servant Job? The Lord asked. There is no one like him, blameless, upright. The accuser did not deny it. Does Job fear God for nothing? You have hedged him in on every side. Stretch out your hand, touch what he has, and he will curse you to your face. Behold, all that he has is in your hand, the Lord said. Only do not touch the man himself. And the accuser went out to strike. It began as an ordinary day. Job's children were feasting at the house of the eldest. A servant came running. The oxen were plowing, the donkeys grazing, the Sabaeans fell on us and took them. I alone escaped to tell you. Before he finished, another arrived. Fire fell from heaven and burned the sheep. I alone escaped. Then another. The Chaldeans came in 3 bands and took the camels. I alone escaped. Then the last one. And Job already knew, before the man spoke, that this report would be the one that broke him. Your sons and daughters were feasting in the house of the eldest. A great wind came from the wilderness and struck the house. It fell on them. They are dead. Job did not run. He did not shout. He tore his robe, shaved his head, and fell to the ground, not in despair, in worship. Naked I came from my mother's womb, and naked I will return. The Lord gave, and the Lord has taken away. Blessed be the name of the Lord. In all of this, Job did not sin, nor did he charge God with wrong. Again the sons of God gathered, and again the accuser stood among them. Skin for skin, he said. A man will give everything to save his own life. Touch his flesh and his bone, and he will curse you. Behold, he is in your hand, the Lord said. Only spare his life. And sores broke out over Job's body, from the sole of his foot to the crown of his head. The most honored man in the East sat down in the ashes outside the city and took a piece of broken pottery to scrape his own skin. His wife found him there. She had buried the same 10 children. She had nothing left either. Job, I no longer recognize you. Where are our children? Where is your God now? She knelt, then rose, her voice breaking into a scream. Curse God and die. You speak as a foolish woman speaks, Job answered, no anger in him, only sorrow. Shall we accept good from God and not adversity? She walked away, and word of his ruin reached 3 friends in distant lands, Eliphaz, Bildad, Zophar. They came, saw him from a distance, and did not recognize him. They wept aloud, tore their robes, and sat with him on the ground. For 7 days no one spoke a word. His pain was too large for language. On the 7th night, Job broke the silence. He did not curse God. He cursed the day he was born. Let the day I was born perish. Why did I not die at birth? There the wicked cease from troubling. There the weary are at rest. Eliphaz spoke first, gently at first. What innocent man ever perished? Seek God, and he will restore you. But each phrase reopened the wound. Job answered, If only my pain could be weighed, It would outweigh the sand of the sea. You came to comfort, and you bring only accusation. Miserable comforters, all of you. Then quieter, he said the words that would outlive every debate. If only there were someone to stand between us, someone to lay his hand on him and on me. Bildad rose next, his voice hard as iron. Would God pervert justice? If your children sinned, he punished them for it. The words landed like a blow on an open wound. His children's death turned into a verdict. Still Job answered, I know that my Redeemer lives. Even after my skin is destroyed, I will see God with my own eyes. Zophar spoke last, coldest of the three. God is giving you less than your guilt deserves. No comfort, only judgment dressed as theology. Then a young man who had sat silent through it all could hold back no longer. His name was Elihu. I am young, and you are old, so I waited. But it is not age that makes a man wise. It is the breath of the Almighty. None of you have answered Job. And Job, you have justified yourself more than God. His voice softened. God speaks, and man does not always perceive it. Hardship is not always punishment. Sometimes it is the voice that turns a man from pride and saves his soul from the pit. As he spoke, the sky changed. Clouds thickened. Wind turned cold. Look up, Elihu said. See the clouds. He gathers. The thunder is his voice. Lightning split the horizon, and his words gave way to something greater than words. The sky went black at midday. The wind became a living thing, and a whirlwind descended from heaven to earth. From its center came a voice. Who is this who darkens counsel with words without knowledge? Brace yourself like a man. Where were you when I laid the foundations of the earth? Job bowed his head as the voice moved through creation. The sea shut behind its doors. The morning commanded to its place. The storehouses of snow. The wild donkey set free. The eagle building its nest on the crag. Behemoth resting in the reeds. Leviathan whose scales are shields of iron. Everything under heaven is mine, the voice said. Who then would dare stand before me? Job fell with his face to the ground. He had asked for an explanation. He had received a revelation instead. I know that you can do all things, Job said. I spoke of what I did not understand. I had heard of you with my ears, but now my eyes see you. Therefore I repent, in dust and ashes. Then the Lord turned to the three friends. My anger burns against you, for you have not spoken of me what is right, as my servant Job has. Take 7 bulls and 7 rams, and let Job pray for you. The men who had called him guilty now depended on him to intercede. Job lifted his hands, without resentment, and prayed for them. And as he prayed, the Lord restored his fortunes, doubling everything that had been taken. 14,000 sheep, 6,000 camels, 7 more sons, 3 more daughters, more beautiful than any in the land. The children who came did not erase the ones he had buried. The restoration did not undo the ashes, but suffering was never the final word over Job's life. God was. Job lived 140 years more and saw his children to the 4th generation. When his days were complete, he departed in peace. No whirlwind, no fire, only rest. And the desert that had witnessed his sorrow kept, forever, one certainty, that his Redeemer lived, and that Job had seen him, not just heard of him, with his own eyes. If you are in your own wasteland right now, hear this. Not every storm is a verdict. Not every silence from heaven means God has left the room. Job did not get every answer. He got something better. He got God himself. And when you have truly seen him, the questions stop being the point.